Hello, it's Chet Lampert. This is episode 7 of my journey to personal freedom, and it's August 12th today. So I just got a few things to talk about, just a little updates, some general concepts, and that sort of thing that I've been thinking about and I wanted to share. So the first thing is I basically hired, without pay, my wife to be responsible for all of the social media. So Twitter, I've already got the Twitter handle. Facebook, that has to be in a month because I did it incorrectly, of course, the first time, and I chose personal, and I was supposed to do business, of course, and so I'm in the process of deleting that. Well, I've done what I needed to do. Facebook takes 30 days to actually delete it, so in 30 days we'll get the Facebook account. So we got Twitter, we've got we will have Facebook, we're gonna and also, of course, we have YouTube where this stuff is. So she's gonna be responsible for all the tweets, all of that sort of thing that's gonna happen on social media, the Facebook, the way it looks, the stuff we're gonna talk about, and that's how it's gonna work. And she's also gonna be dealing with all of the trademark stuff. So I need to get a trademark of my logo, my business name, the logo business name combo, how it physically looks, and potentially the slogan. So creations for tomorrow, creations for today, inspired by tomorrow. I'm already getting messed up, but that's apparently our catchphrase or our slogan. So that's what she's gonna do, all that kind of stuff, plus make sure with our other lawyer. Of course, this is the plane audio room, and that's why you'll hear planes all the time. So ignoring that. Also, we're going to talk to the lawyer we use to file our LLC. So we're going to make sure that we can use that LLC and just have obstacle elimination as like something under that umbrella, so that we don't have to get another LLC. I don't want to do that, but if we have to, we'll get that. We're going to ask the question just to make sure. So I filled out this little thing from LegalZoom, and I did a Rocket Lawyer as well. Those are both online services that you can use. I'm gonna get quotes from both of them, or actually my wife, the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, we're gonna call her. Renata is her name. She will be doing that stuff once she gets back she's on a work assignment right now for her regular job, but when she's done with that, or when I see her this weekend, she'll be doing that. Also, good news, finally I gave the final approval for my website. So it should be going live hopefully tonight, which is the beginning of the next day for India, and I will see it live on my domain name tomorrow. If not, maybe the next day. I don't know how long it takes. It seems like it should be a cut and paste, but I don't know. I've never done that. That's what they do, so we'll see what happens. After that, basically the next thing I was supposed to do today, and I got it done, I found 3 companies in India that basically do off-site motion capture type technology and consultations. So these companies should be able to, well, I'm gonna find out for damn sure when the website's open and I contact them, but I'm gonna find out if they can actually tell me the exact equipment to get and how to film it and how to do everything I need to do so that we get a successful motion capture for them, and they can produce something that works really great and looks really great. So that's the first thing. I already have the exact intro that I'm going to use, and I have a lot more detail in another document that I'm going to use when it gets to that, but for now I'm completely ready just to hit send once that website's done. After that, I talked about starting. I already started the trademark process with Rocket Lawyer, but I'm just going to hand that off to my CMO, Renata, to finish that. I wanted to sort of a bunch of the concepts. So now that's all the business stuff. There's not really much more to talk about. Except for maybe with the machine learning, and that's what made me think of this next concept, is the whole concept that Naval Ravikant and Tim Ferriss and those type of guys talk about. They talk about constant learning, and the stuff I've been learning, I spent a lot of time in AI, machine learning, that sort of thing. So I kind of get, I pretty much get exactly how that is supposed to work, what kind of information you need to feed it, what kind of training sets you need. the difference between training set and a validation set, and then you have other sets. So I know the information I'm going to need to get for this other device, the dancing device that we're also going to try to push out and make a product. And that one, it seemed like there was more work to that one than the jiu-jitsu one, but maybe it's even less work and it's probably less involved to get started. Jiu-jitsu is going to be free to reproduce, but it's going to cost a whole lot more money to actually create. This is going to take, this dancing idea is going to take more to create, and well, not more, less to create as far as paying other people, but it's going to be more time for me because I've got to do it. Other than that, and then I've got to get a consultant, an expert that can actually visualize what I'm looking at and tell me good, no good, or levels of good, that sort of thing. So, but it's back to the whole concept of from Naval Ravikant and Tim Ferriss and these other guys. Tim Ferriss is from 4 Hour Workweek. That's another book that that I've listened to, audio.com or audible.com, whatever. So that's what I've been listening to and learning from these guys that have made it. And the constant learning is something I think that just makes sense, because I'm going to learn. I need to learn something. I need something to constantly move forward, constantly learn mentally. I need something physically, jiu-jitsu. I need something spiritually, and that's you can get that from religion, you can get that from spiritual texts, you can get that from being mindful, from whatever, but to be a whole person, you need all of these things. So, and you need constant learning or constant moving forward in all these things, physically, intellectually, spiritually, with your love life, with your family, with everything. I think you need to just keep moving forward, and that's one of the bylines of this effort we're trying to do. Is it's all about moving forward and just, the next step. You take the next step or you don't take it. And if you don't take it, you sit around and watch TV all day and screwing around, or you take it and you actually do these little things day by day. And another thing I've learned, actually, a little trick from Tim Ferriss, is like, just focus on the 2 most important things you can do the next day. Write those 2 things down and then make sure you get those 2 things done. And it's just something to keep you moving forward. It's a piece of paper. So you don't have to look at your email and get distracted by all that nonsense. Just, you could see it, you get it done, and then when you're done, then you can do all the nonsense stuff, like check your email and stuff that, nothing really happens with email. It's just, it seems like busy work, but it's got to be done because everyone expects it. So get your 2 things done first, then do your email, and then the rest of your day is pretty much empty. Then you can explore, think, learn, whatever, or move forward with my business. And so that's the one thing I want to talk about, is a constant learning. I've been doing nothing but listening to Audible books, and then also for technically, I've been doing the Google Crash courses in machine learning. I've been reading a lot about AI. Looking a lot of the sensors that we need for the dance ideas, so I'm pretty well versed in what they can do. I mean, I'm no expert in those sensors, but when I get them, I got the motherboard that has the software already on them, and I'm gonna be able to test them immediately without having to learn a ton and see what it gives you, and then I can build some device that it can hook up to someone, and then we can get the real data, and we can do the real machine learning, we can do the real training, and really make it take off. I mean, I'm pretty excited about that idea as well. It's like, it depends on the day which exact idea I'm more excited about, but neither one I can kill, so they're both still viable, and I've spent significant effort on both of them so far. So most ideas don't get nearly this far. Most ideas are like 5 minutes of thinking about it and you already figured out 100 ways it doesn't work. So these, I've been thinking about them for weeks now, literally weeks, and I haven't killed them yet, so we're doing great. Another thing I want to talk to you about, another rule from not Naval Ravikant, but Jordan Peterson. When I started this series, I told you I want to use some of the things I've learned from them and explain to them and how they worked in my real life, and if it works or doesn't work. Well, I don't think it doesn't work so far, but another thing that has worked is this connection time, this concept that Jordan Peterson talks about. He's like, if you got a wife, or if you got a significant other, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you got, for you to maintain your connection, just to deal with the day-to-day stuff that's going on, to keep you at an even keel with your significant other, like things don't get worse, don't get better, but just know what's going on in their life, it takes about 30 minutes a day, at least, just to talk. So that's what I've been trying to do, just trying to have these moments where I can connect with my wife, and I also need the same moment with all my kids, individually and as a group. So for my wife, what works really well actually is just walking. Neither one of us are like into exercise. I love jiu-jitsu, I love sports, I love things that are very physical, that take a lot of athletic ability and cardiovascular endurance, that sort of thing, to actually do well. So I get my exercise by doing other things, not exercise. If it's called exercise, I just don't want to do it. If it's called jiu-jitsu, sign me up. If it's called scuba diving, if it's called wakeboarding, if it's called whatever, sign me up. But exercise, pumping iron and running and all that is terrible. My wife actually wants to run. That's what she finds okay. So, and we don't really run the whole time. We walk most of it, but we'll run about a quarter of the time. And the times we're walking, we're just talking. So that whole connection times, it's a dual benefit, because we're both active. And literally almost every single day we've been doing this every morning, like it's 6 o'clock to 6:30, we're leaving our house. And we're doing this for an hour. So we got that hour to connect, and we're talking. There's no distractions, there's no cell phones, no nothing. We're walking around the neighborhood, we're saying hi to whoever out there at the time, and we're connecting. We're keeping up on our day-to-day existence, and I'm pretty damn sure we're both getting closer. I mean, I could tell it seems that she I think feels more connected to me now than she has ever before, and maybe since we've first met or something, with that whole attraction and hormones pumping through your body, that the first attraction, first love, that sort of thing is kind of crazy. But besides that, I'm sure this is the most connected I felt with her, and so much so that I made her my CMO. Whatever. But she was asking what she could do to help out, and she wanted concrete things. And I was like, well, I finally thought of things that she can do that I can just hand over and it can get done. So hopefully that goes well. We'll see if she actually has momentum and movement toward each of these things that I gave her. I talked about what they were in the beginning. So, and the constant learning, the people I've been reading, Tim Ferriss, like I said, 4 Hour Workweek, Scott Adams, he's the guy from Dilbert. He did How to Win Bigly. It's all about the persuasion and the Trump election. And then this guy, this expert persuader, he got me curious about who he was. He calls him Godzilla. I found out he knows who he is, and I'm pretty sure it's Robert Cialdini. Cialdini, that's how you say his name, I'm pretty sure. And he wrote a couple books. One's called Influence, which is kind of basic. I listened to it. There's a bunch in there that's useful that I wouldn't have thought of, but the concepts, the general concepts, I'm pretty sure I got well, just from life. I don't know if everyone would get those concepts as well, because they haven't had the same life as me, but it seemed like these are the kind of things that I've thought about in the past. A lot of it I haven't, so I'm not going to say it's not worth reading, even if you're pretty damn good. I think it's a great book. But then the Persuasion book that he wrote later, the same guy, that's excellent. That is stuff that I haven't heard about any of it. And apparently, from what I see in marketing stuff and things like that, man, I don't think a lot of people use it. So that's going to be very useful. That sort of persuasion and that sort of thing is going to be very useful in how I present my product to the world, because I want it to have a certain message. I want it to have a certain ethic. It's going to be my name, my brand. All that has to be top notch. It has to be with the right message, with the whole moving forward message, the building together, unity, that sort of thing. His ideas are going to help me formulate that kind of message, and I'm pretty sure I got it dialed in the way I want. But when I create new stuff, I definitely am going to look at what's the language I'm using. Am I using aggressive language? Because I probably don't need to. I could probably switch it for something else. That'd be a more well-rounded, more generally approved type message. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the lessons I found in that Tim Ferriss book, The 4-Hour Workweek. He had a ton of sections on marketing and how to test ideas and the different ways you can test using Google and using all kinds of ads and whatever else you can use. You can basically use some of the ideas in that book to figure out what's going to sell, how to sell it the best way, you know, what types of marketing works well versus other types of marketing. And that sort of trial run phase of marketing is a very important concept that I'm going to definitely use, where I control for one variable, change that out and see what the message, see what it does, and then you control for a different variable, you change that out and see how it does, and you find the best experience. And the way you can check out on how to price the thing, the same book has that sort of concept and how to the ideas and how do you figure out what that price level should be. And he gives you concrete ways to find out what that price would be, you know, figuring out these test marketing campaigns, these test price pages where people have to go through and click, and as further down they get, the more you know, oh, this guy's really interested, so you can use that information to say, you know what, that worked because he clicked through this page, that page, he filled out all the information, and he went to go pay, and it failed there because it's not ready yet. But then, you know, he went to pay, so he went through all those steps to fill out all the stuff he was going to hit pay and complete the payment. Didn't happen. But because the website wasn't ready yet, but I can use that information. If I set it up the right way, I can use it for figure out how to make it sell. So the constant learning is definitely coming in handy, and it's just whatever interests me at the time. I'm not going to worry about the subject matter unless I have something very pressing that I want to focus on right then. But if I don't have something pressing that I need to learn right now, like I did before with machine learning, and actually it turned out I didn't need it because it turned out not to be the solution, but it just works out that later on I'm using machine learning, I'm going to use machine learning for the other project. So nothing's waste. I mean, if you learn something, you learn something, and it's useful. It could be useful for other times. All right, let me just check my notes, see if I covered everything that I was going to talk about. Yeah, I think that's it. So signing off, August 12th, my journey to personal freedom. Talk to you later. Bye.